Judy, your character Grace, it's her first time directing the Christmas pageant, and she gets very in over her head quickly, at least early on. How is it really showing that aspect of the character? It's a really fun element.
Well, I felt personally pretty overwhelmed on that set with all the kids around and the big set pieces and everything and how important the movie was. So I didn't have to work that hard. But it was really fun. I mean, I love the idea of a woman biting off more than she can chew and like dealing with it with Grace, which is also my character's name, and how much compassion she finds for the Herdmans, and sort of like through her eyes, we really get to tell like the rest of the town that they're being jerks.
Yeah, there's such a wonderful message to this film. And Pete, I wanted to ask you what it was like working with the director, Dallas Jenkins, because this film just it feels nostalgic in a way. Like it feels like a Christmas movie that was made decades ago and has stood the test of time. And maybe that's because the book was written in 1972. I don't know. It's or the filmmaking style. But how is it working with him? Because this just felt like a warm embrace.
Yeah, no, and Dallas loves the story. He's been reading it his entire life. He reads it to his kids.
It took him so long to get through that book.
It took him 10 years to
kidding.
finally finish a pretty small book. But he is very warm and very Christmassy as a person,
Yeah.
and he brought that warmth to the set. And then, I think one of his touchstones was A Christmas Story. This movie kind of feels like in the same time as that movie. Maybe a little bit more modern, but similar, because we wanted it to have that timeless feel.
Yeah, that definitely comes through. And Judy, what I loved about Grace was that she's ultimately sees that situation, despite how stressful it is, as a real learning opportunity for everybody and where she can really genuinely help people. Can you speak to that aspect? Because I thought that was the real heart of the film and really uh, was really impactful.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, that I'm the heart of the film, and I couldn't agree more. No, I think that it's really special that Grace decides to stand up for the Herdmans. And that's kind of what it is like she sees these kids and she sees what's really going on. And one of the most pivotal scenes in the movie to me, Judy, is when they are taking the ham to the Herdman's house and Grace gets to see where they live. She sees them like on their own turf. The kids get to see where the Herdmans live. And I think that that's a really important and critical moment for our family in the movie. And when she decides like, no, screw it. Like, I'm standing up for these kids. Everyone deserves a shot. And I personally feel like that too. So I'm really, I'm happy that all that made it onto the screen. You never really know when you're shooting it, but I know on the day, like, it felt really special.
That's wonderful. And Pete, I was curious, how is it? Because one aspect that really impressed me about the film was that you two and then the two children actually feel like a family in the film.
We
So how
lived
was it
together
kind
for
of
about 6 months before, no, we didn't.
A small log cabin has nothing to do. No, I love that complimentary. Thank you. Yeah, Molly and Sebastian were incredibly professional. Those are the two kids.
Yeah.
Judy and I got along. We like to tease, but in actuality, we got
Yes.
along very, very well.
Yeah.
So much so that I'm sad that I can't be in every Judy Greer movie. But who can be in 30 movies a year? Not me. I'd like to be home sometimes. So,
Not me.
not Judy. Yeah, but that's a really wonderful compliment. And the fact of the matter is, you have to bond, and you have to bond quickly. And the way that I did that was with jokes, with the kids and with Judy. Obviously, different kinds of jokes. With the kids, it was mostly flipping them over my shoulder, and with Judy, is flipping her over my other shoulder. No, it was making jokes and getting her to laugh, and then she would obviously crack me up as well.
That's wonderful. And Judy, there's so many fantastic young actors here, especially all the kids playing the Herdmans. How is it just working with that giant group of kids? Because it's not often that most of your co-stars are children.
It's known as a gaggle in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a gaggle of children, any number more than 4.
Well, I wanted to impress them all because, you know, they'll probably all grow up to be stars, and in the movies that they shoot, they'll need mothers and aunts and grandmothers. So hoping that they'll like me and remember me and choose me to play those pivotal roles in their TV series and movies as they continue to age in Hollywood.
And also just like medics, like on-set medics.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
CPR.
Do you know CPR?
I can learn.
No, they were great. They were all, I mean, truly, like, you can see in the movie how talented they are, but, like, their on-set etiquette, their professionalism, their etiquette.
It is funny. You're absolutely right.
It was
These kids are going to be stars.
I know.
And I think Molly is going to be like the next, what's her name? You're buddies with her, 13 going on 30.
Oh, Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner, like, I think these are the next generation of stars, and it's going to be really funny when no one has any clue who we are, and they're like, oh my God, Sebastian! And
I know.
I look forward to that because these are wonderful kids.
Yeah, they all have a bright future. And Pete, one of the scenes I really liked for you was you were with Molly, who plays your daughter Beth, and you're reassuring her at bed. She's really does not like that these kids have taken part in the pageant, and you're reassuring her. What really stood out about Molly as a scene partner, because she just seems so mature during these scenes. It was great to see.
Incredibly mature, and you're doing a scene like that. I'm such a showbiz dummy, meaning that's like a small set. Like that bedroom, there's no wall. It's just like a slice of pie with a bed and a fake hallway. So it's not as easy as it looks to really be convincingly, she has to pray, she has to like wake up, and I'm walking in and sitting on the edge of the bed. There's camera guys right in her face. So it really is incredible that a small kid can lock on to me, ignore everything else, remember her lines, remember to emote. I think we probably improvised a little bit. So it really is special. For a grown-up, I mean, we ignore so much. Ignoring a crew while you're doing a scene isn't that much. But for a kid to have that restraint is really impressive.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite scenes to shoot. I got to keep that robe.
Whoa.
Yeah, I wear it backwards like a Snuggie.
And Judy, my last question, Arrested Development's one of my favorite shows, and you were so funny as Kitty Sanchez. What was just most rewarding about working on that set?
I think that just the staying power of, I mean, the fans still, I mean, how many years later, like, are still in love with that show. And it was really fun to make, but those first 3 seasons, like, nobody was really watching it in real time. That was the advent of TiVo. So no one was watching the show on Sundays. I think it was on Sundays, but like everyone was recording it and watching it later. And it was just weird to be in this show that felt like we were in a vacuum. And then when they canceled it, it was like everyone was like, what? It's been fun to see the lasting impression it has made.
For the kids, TiVo is like a VCR.
It was like the first DVR, but it was like a whole box that you had to buy, like one box.
And a VCR was like a cassette tape.
Which was
like what you might know as a DVD. What I'm saying is, before everything was streaming, it used to be on a thing called
It was really fun to improvise with
TV.
David Cross and
Say goodbye
Jason
to these,
Bateman
Michael.
and Will Arnett.
Say
Those
goodbye
were
to these,
like,
Michael.
that was
Say goodbye to these,
eyes
Michael.
up here.
Say goodbye
up
to
here,
these,
Michael.
Michael.
Up
Say
here.
goodbye to these, Michael.
Yeah.
Don't you say goodbye to these, Michael?
Yeah.
Can you do the eyes? He'll
Yeah.
love it. There
I
it
do
is.
that cross-eyed.
It's funny every time.
Is it?
You're both incredible. Thank you guys so much for your time today, and congrats on this movie. I really loved it.
Thanks, Tyler. Say goodbye to these,
Thanks,
Tyler.
guys.
Say goodbye to these, Tyler.